confrontation in New York City, hockey style. The first-place Rangers holding a 1-point edge over the visiting Pittsburgh Penguins. Everyone knew this was going to be a good one.
I think it's such a big game. I think the Rangers are going to be so up for it. They've been in first place for 147 straight days. They don't want to give it up right now. They're going to be very, very hungry to come out here and make something happen early in the hockey game, I think.
But the Rangers brought a 5-game losing streak into the match, while the Penguins were unbeaten in their previous 6, and it wasn't hard to tell who was pressing. Though New York took the early lead, the Penguins soon regained control.
Bob Harry goes to Recchi, Lee pass to Lemieux behind the defense, pulls it around behind him. Here he comes towards the net. Lemieux makes a little move, shoots and scored! It went in, pulled out by Hardy, but Lemieux has cashed in. The Penguins have the lead, 2-1. Oh, I'll be cow kicked.
Lately, the Rangers have been feeling like they were getting cow kicked. But Mike Gartner got his licks in with his 42nd goal on Brian Leetch's 66th assist of the season, a new Rangers record. But it was all Pittsburgh from that point on, because it was the kind of day in which the Penguins clicked 3 out of 6 times on the power play.
Lemieux has it. Center point, the Coffey in front, deflected in by Stevens again. And the Penguins have the lead again, 3-2. Book 'em, Dano.
And booked the Rangers with their 6th straight loss. This one had serious repercussions in terms of the division standings.
On this St. Patrick's Day, 1991, the Pittsburgh Penguins move into first place in the Patrick Division ahead of the New York Rangers, and they have captured first place for the first time this season.
It was a long struggle to get in the first place, and at times it didn't look like it was possible. And our job was to keep winning. You got there, and our job is to stay there. And we know it's going to be a very, very difficult job. And at least we have momentum right now, and I think that's very, very important.
We're on a bit of a roll now. We have a lot of confidence, and from the past, I've noticed that teams that do well this last little stretch here seem to do well in the playoffs. They kind of carry it through, and hopefully that's what we can do.
We want to finish in first place and get a home ice advantage. And I think our chances are pretty good. We still have 2 games against the Flyers and 2 games against the Rangers, which are going to be pretty big. And our goal is just to keep playing the way we are right now and get ready for the playoffs.
With 7 games left in the regular season, the Penguins knew what they wanted to accomplish, and so did their next opponents, the New Jersey Devils, who are still seeking a playoff berth.
Oh, we just got to be optimistic. I think, looking at our dressing room right now, we're really positive, and, we're excited about going in this stretch right now. But as long as we keep it tight, a lot of hitting and forechecking, we'll be okay.
But the Penguins-Devils game wasn't panning out well for Jersey. A little stronger now, Mario Lemieux made it look easy at times.
Mario Lemieux, the Penguins, trying to get the Devils in around Abilene. Comes down with a shot. He shoots and scores. Mario Lemieux beats Cerreri like a rented mule. And the Penguins lead 4-2.
That was the score after 2 periods. But in the third, the Devils launched their biggest comeback of the year.
Shoot, score! Devils get a goal. It is Seager who got the goal. The Devils get a big goal early in the third. 10 seconds in. Give me the center ice to Brendan Shanahan to the right wing of Driver. Back out of the Penguins. They drop pass to Shanahan. Score! Behind him. Brendan Shanahan from 45. And the New Jersey Devils have tied this hockey game. He moves around to the left point. Picked up by Driver. Shoots a puck and in by Sexton. And the Devils have the lead for the second time in the game. 5-4. Patrick Sexton the goal scorer.
A relentless Jersey attack had forced the Penguins to yield 3 third-period goals. In the waning moments, Pittsburgh pulled its goaltender, Tom Barrasso, hoping to tie. For their part, the Devils were poised to celebrate an important win, but it almost didn't happen, as what could have been a costly error was saved in the nick of time.
The Devils have it. Doug Brown. Brown around the net. They feed it in front. It comes off now to Fetisov. He doesn't shoot it. Now tries it. It's blocked. Lemieux will come up with it for the Penguins. Lemieux ahead now with a minute to go to Recchi. Here comes Young on the right side. Goes to him. He's there. It's shot. Glove save. Cerreri to hold on. A great save by Cerreri to keep the Devils ahead by 1.
Jersey held on, and with 2 points, moved into 3rd place in the jam-packed Patrick Division. Now it's time for the Alka-Seltzer Plus Award update. When you got a cold and you gotta get relief, you gotta get Alka-Seltzer Plus Cold Medicine. A new face at the top, Chicago's Steve Larmer has the best plus-minus rating in the NHL. Consistently productive, Larmer is having a brilliant season.
Larmer's racing. He gets there. Larmer's going to be in. His shot, and he scores! Larmer!
With little more than a week to go, Steve Larmer's out in front in a tight race for the Alka-Seltzer Plus Award. Head. slim point separated the Blues from the Hawks at the start of a home-and-home series. Visiting Chicago found itself in penalty trouble in the opener, but Steve Larmer kept the Hawks flying high.
Right back over the Hawk line. Now lost, and Larmer racing away. He's got a breakaway. Larmer's in alone. Here's a shot. He scores! Larmer! A short-handed goal for the Hawks. Their 20th of the year.
Chicago leads the league in shorthanded goals, while the Blues have given up the most. But Bob Basson did what he could to even the numbers with a shorty of his own.
Basson stole it. The race is on. Basson with Manson trying to catch him. Basson got off the shot. He scores! Bob Basson! A short-handed goal. He pulled away from Wilson. A great effort by Basson. Puts the Blues back in front 2-1.
But a hectic first period wasn't finished yet. Some hard work around the net produced Jeremy Roenick's 38th goal of the season and a 2-2 score. Later in the second period, the Hawks looked to their big man and got results as Steve Larmer took over once again.
Steve Larmer shooting it in. Back of the net goes Goulet. A big collision there with Stevens. Then Creighton dug it out. Tied up, though, by a much smaller Dan Quinn. It came loose to Larmer. He scores! Steve Larmer! Larmer whipped it by Jablonski with a low wrister. Second goal of the game for Larmer, and the Hawks lead for the first time.
The 3-2 lead held up. A huge win for the Blackhawks at St. Louis.
And Chicago extends the lead over the Blues to 3 points on top of the North Division.
Both teams next headed north to Chicago for the rematch, and that night all systems were go. A cordial get-together of old friends? Not exactly. This was a rugged one with the action back and forth.
He scores! Chris Chelios. Johnny scores! Glenn Featherstone. Johnny score! Beluso kicked it in. Left point to Oates. Ahead in the far corner to Hull. Hull to Paul Cavallini. A shot to Quinn. He scores! And the Blues tie it. And Dan Quinn, who ties it at 4 in a must game for the Blues.
But this was also a must-not game for the Hawks, as in must not stop working.
Tips to center. It's blocked by Mahar. Now wheeling around, rolling in front. It's stopped. They score from behind the net. Jablonski was off balance, and it bangs in off Jablonski. And the Blackhawks regain the lead 5-4 on a real scramble.
2 goals in 2 nights from Brett Hull were of no avail. The down-a-bit Blues dropped the pair.
And the Hawks now with 5 more points than the Blues. This may well wrap it up for Chicago.
With 96 points, the Hawks now had the rest of the league well behind them. Winless in their last 6, the Blues headed east to Washington, hoping to blow off a little steam against the Caps. For that, it helped to have Old Faithful Brett Hull, who was about to reach an elite goal-scoring mark.
Blues win the draw in front. Hull all alone from Oates. He shoots and scores. Hull was all alone. Number 80, only the 3rd player in NHL history to score 80 goals.
While the Caps had to put up with St. Louis' most prolific scorer, they also had to endure quite the opposite.
Into the Cap zone. Here's Quinn in the slot. Pass over to Kelly Chase. Shoots. He scores! Kelly Chase, his 2nd NHL goal, his 1st this year, and the Blues take a 2-1 lead.
It was that kind of night. A tough outing for Washington, a badly needed 2-1 win for the Blues. Now it's time for the Power Stick Power Play. A penalty called in overtime, and the Canuck is out of luck. Stay tuned.
Power Stick antiperspirant. It gives a man what he needs to excel. Power. Control. Power Stick. Stroke per stroke, 50% more power. 50% more odor and wetness fighters. 24-hour control that ordinary deodorant sticks just can't beat. All day, all night. Power Stick for 24-hour control.
The Philadelphia Flyers head up ice, but time is running out. Back up now comes Murray Craven. Craven moving in over to Barron, a backhander, score! Murray Barron! A sudden death overtime power play game winner. For Murray Barron, that's finding the power.
Curling. The slide. The finesse. The touch.
One, two, yes.
The Labatt Brier semifinals. Tuesday at 7:30 on Sunshine Network, an affiliate of Prime Network. Focus, the intense desire to be champion. Power, the outer strength to dominate. Confidence, the mental toughness, knowing that you cannot be beaten. For every fighter to remain standing at the final bell, he must master these before he squares off against his opponent. The Miami Beach Brawl, live. Friday night at 8:30 on Sunshine Network, an affiliate of Prime Network.
On now to the Smythe Division. With Calgary and Los Angeles dead even at 91 points, first place was sitting on a fence as the two teams got together recently at the Olympic Saddle Dome. Opening the night with his 47th goal, Theo Fleury gave the Flames a 1-0 lead. Later it was 2-0, but defenseman Rob Blake played a king-size role in this one, 2 assists and 2 goals, the last of which decided the game with 3 minutes left.
Gretzky sends it around the right side. He's got it again. Gretzky into Sandstrom. He shoots, and it's just wide. Picked up by Duchesne. To Sandstrom. To Gretzky. Up the middle. To Blake. He shoots. Save. Rebound. Blake. Right side in behind the net to Gretzky. Gretzky flames out. Gretzky. Right side to Blake. He shoots. Save. Blake again. Score! Kings lead.
Kings lead indeed. An impressive evening for Rob Blake, who leads all rookie defensemen with 44 points. And an impressive evening for the Kings, who beat Calgary 4-3.
Kings are going to win it. It's all over. The Kings are in first place by themselves in the Smythe Division.
While Los Angeles savored its victory, another crucial Smythe Division struggle was taking place, although of a more modest variety. At the Pacific Coliseum, Vancouver, in a fourth-place battle with Winnipeg, was trailing the Islanders 4-3 until Trevor Linden struck gold with barely a minute left to play in the game.
Sutter with Lauer driving in. The shot, the save. And Curvers comes away. Up to Ronnie. Works here. Shoots. Healy blocks it. Get back. They score!
On Linden's 31st goal of the year, the Canucks had come from behind to eke out a badly needed point, although Vancouver still trailed the Jets by a deuce. The next night, the Canucks turned over a king. This match had a little bit of everything, including a pretty play from a developing ace, Vancouver's fast-maturing Peter Nedved. The 19-year-old Nedved converted on this 2-on-1 to give the Canucks a 4-2 third-period lead. But the comeback Kings had a card up their sleeve, Larry Robinson, whose first goal of the season sent the game to overtime. In OT, Jeff Courtnall played the trump card, one of a kind that meant 2 points for Vancouver and a hot hand for Courtnall, who called the bluff of Daniel Berthiaume to the stick side.
I've played against him quite a bit, and he knows I like to shoot in the glove, and he kind of took that away a few times on me tonight, so I just tried to stay on the short side, and he wasn't there.
Meanwhile, the Winnipeg Jets weren't turning their backs on a playoff spot as they began a season-ending 5-game road trip in Calgary on a rough note, although a late goal was cause for optimism.
And Nieuwendyk clears the puck, not out. Shot from the point. Loose in front. They score. This game is tied 3-3.
But in overtime, recent trade acquisition Kerry Wilson teamed up with a healthy again Paul Ranheim to deal a severe blow to Winnipeg aspirations.
Calgary over the line. Ranheim to Wilson. He scores!
The win meant that the Flames were back in first and that Ranheim's broken ankle had healed.
A lot of credit's got to go to Paul Ranheim on that play. He did a lot of work and lugged it up the ice and made a great delay and turned, and I just came in late, made a perfect pass to me, and I just kind of put my head down and shot, and went.
I think I was a little surprised at how good it felt. I really didn't know what to expect because the game situation is different than practice, and you're taking hits, and there's a lot of, traffic in the corners and in front of the net, and it held up pretty well.
For the Jets, injured hopes have to heal as the season comes down to the final strokes.
It's a tough game for us to lose. We're getting into a situation where it's do or die, and the playoffs came a little bit early for us this year. We gotta be playing playoff hockey.
Now a nice moment on ice, brought to you by Nice Sore Throat Lozenges. Hall of Famer Bobby Hull was one of hockey's most feared marksmen, netting over 600 goals in his 15 seasons with the Chicago Blackhawks. The Golden Jet also flew high as a member of the Winnipeg Jets, who retired his number 9 in 1989. In Bobby's 7 seasons with Winnipeg, they won 3 WHA titles. For Bobby Hull, it was truly a nice moment on ice.
Gee, sounds awful.
No luck at all to the wearing of the green Hartford Whalers, whose 2-point edge on the 4th-place Buffalo Sabres took a beating. In goal for Buffalo, Darcy Wakaluk had all the luck this St. Patty's Day.
It'll come back to the corner, the pass in front. Oh, Wakaluk made a big save. A loose puck, here's the drive, and Wakaluk came out and made the save there.
Also riding a recent run of particularly good luck, red-hot Dale Howard-Chuck.
Howard-Chuck gets it over the line, winds up with the drive.
Howard-Chuck had a goal and 4 assists in this game and 10 points overall in his past 3. More importantly, with the 6-1 win, the Sabres ended the bad luck of their 12-game winless streak at home in the Odd.
It's definitely a streak we want to put an end to, and we played a good hockey game tonight. We played pretty well the last 3 games, and we let one slip away, but I think we're playing better right now.
I think they've played hard virtually every game lately, and sometimes things haven't happened the way we wanted them to, but there's some pretty good teams in the league, and but we've played pretty, our work ethic is there. That's something that I couldn't say at the first of the year.
We're tied with Hartford now, and we just got to start getting some wins in our building going into the playoffs, so if we would have lost this, we could have been in trouble.
3 nights later, the Sabres faced another set of rivals, the Montreal Canadiens, who scored twice in the 3rd period to force overtime. But in sudden death, the luck of the Buffalo Chucks continued. A big win for Buffalo, and with the Montreal loss of first place clinched for Boston as the Adams family grows closer. Now let's get ready for the Academy Awards as we hop over the boards. The spotlight. That's something hockey players know a thing or two about. Well, maybe the glamour of Hollywood has a slight edge over Saskatoon on a Sunday night in January, but let's face it, talent is talent, on the ice or on the set. And when the camera's rolling, everybody takes notice. Movie stars like to watch hockey games, and hockey players like to watch movies. So with the Oscars coming up, we sampled a few NHL critics to make their pick. Guys, tear open those envelopes. What have you liked lately?
Well, I just finished seeing Dancing with the Wolves, I think it's called. And I enjoyed that. It was a long movie, but it had beautiful scenery in it, and I really enjoyed that movie. It was real down to earth and showed that the Indians were pretty good guys back then.
Best movie I've seen, I think ever was Dancing with Wolves. I could have went and saw that about 3 hours after I saw it the first time. It was just a great show.
Well, I really enjoyed Dancing with Wolves. Sleeping with the Enemy was a pretty good movie, I guess, because I like Julia Roberts. But those are a couple of my favorites, I guess.
Boy, if I had to pick one movie of the year, is this excluding XXX? Most definitely. I'd have to go with Ghost. Yeah, Ghost moved me a little bit. I don't know if I want to die or not after watching it. I don't want those big black demons to come in behind me and grab me.
I'd say Ghost. That's I saw that a couple months ago, and that's one movie that I really enjoyed.
Well, I just watched Marked for Death with Steven Seagal the other day, and I like those kind of movies where there's blood and guts. And
the movie I really liked was Marked for Death with Steven Seagal. He's my favorite actor, and just the way he goes around and he's breaking people's arms and
he beats a bunch of people up.
He's a real tough guy. He takes on 5, 6 guys at once. And
you got to take them for what they're worth, though. They're kind of slash and not much of a storyline. But I enjoy those kind of movies.
You look at it and say, it's unbelievable. Nothing like that can happen. But it's just great. It's good entertainment, and I like those kind of movies.
You didn't by any chance see that with Randy Mola, did you?
Yes, I did.
I'd probably have to say Goodfellas. Johnny McClane I saw it this year, and we both enjoyed that movie. Thought it was a good show, so my vote has Goodfellas for this year.
The last one I saw was Kindergarten Cops with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the kids, and I really enjoy watching kids. They're a lot of fun. I think adults learn from children as well as children learning from adults, but some of the situations they can create are pretty comical.
Well, I took my son to see Home Alone about 5 times, so I have to say Home Alone to be the movie of the year for me.
Home Alone with the little guy there, and I saw the Russia House the other night, and
You know, there's a lot of good movies out there, but I don't know anything about the Oscars or how they picked them or what, so, you know, who knows?
In the media capital of New York, everybody's got an opinion. So when we talk to the Rangers, we also got an earful about what they didn't like.
The worst one, we just saw one the other day, a bunch of us, Edward Scissorhands, and it was bad. It seemed like a 3-hour movie, and it was only an hour and a half.
They had it rated 5th overall on the year, but I'd have to say it was maybe 5th from the worst.
That Scissorhands guy, whatever, that was one I didn't care for. I ended up walking out on that one.
But a cagey veteran like John Van Beesbrook played it smart when he bought his ticket.
You mean, in other words, while all those other guys were watching Edward Scissorhands, having a terrible time, you were watching God?
I was in The Godfather 3, and it was done really well. Some nice shots in Italy. So, you know, I'm not a movie critic, but I enjoyed the movie.
And how about hockey's ultimate critics, the coaches? Well, some of them like to get out to the movies, and I guess some don't.
You're asking the wrong person. I haven't seen a movie in about 3 years. I've seen a lot of hockey films, but no movies.
Oh, I think Dance with Wolves, I enjoyed that. I thought that was extremely good. I thought the acting in Misery was very good. I didn't like Silence Lamb picture I saw last. I didn't like that one last night. I saw Gene Hackman the other night in his picture. I thought he did a good job. So, but I go to the movie, I want to be entertained for 2 hours. I don't want to dissect the whole thing, and I just want to go there, be entertained, and walk out. And that's I want to be entertained, period.
One sure way to guarantee that, Bob. Take a shot with us next time on Power Stick Hockey Week.